wrestling into nothing but nonsense. And now, my nascent newcomers. First of all, my daily double, Rich Liebig.
Yeah, what's up? It's QI!
My $2,000 clue, Corey Anatato.
I have a mouthful of tomato pie.
Our final Jeopardy, Kathy Krebs.
That's so mean.
Woo!
And finally, before we continue with the game, we do have a bit of bad news for you. It seems your answer of pork meat was inadmissible for the answer of prosciutto, so we have to take $2,000.
Donation received.
Hey, donation!
It's Bob Hay.
Yeah!
And if anyone wishes to notify me, use your buzzers. Corey goes. Rich goes. Kathy goes. And Bob goes.
When we had Chuck Forrest as the champion on the program, he would jump all over the board. So all the newcomers say, oh, well, the way to succeed is to jump all over the board. It only works, dickweed, if you know the correct response to everything that's up there.
So there we go.
Wow. Does Trebek just call people dickweed all the time?
Guess what Bob's fucking short buzzer is. Okay. Anyway, so if everybody is settled,
Yeah. Let's be funny and stuff.
if everybody's settled in, let's take a look at the first item up for bids on The Price is Right.
It's a new solar-powered clothes dryer. Harness the power of the sun to make sure your laundry's done with this solar-powered clothes dryer. Features include easy installation, user-friendly interface, and low carbon footprint. This household marvel can be yours if the price is right.
Thank you, Greg Scott. Hey! And that prize will go to the one of you four who bids nearest to the actual retail price without going over. And we'll start with Corey. What do you bid? You don't have to buzz it for this one.
$1, Christian.
Oh, Corey bids $1.
$1.
Rich,
$1,000.
$1,000 for Rich. Kathy?
Say $5.
$5.
It's just a close
Oh,
one.
yeah,
It's so
yeah.
close
And
bids.
Bob.
1,001.
Damn you, Bob!
And the actual retail price of the solar-powered clothes dryer is $49. I think $5.
Wow.
Very good.
Wow.
I think that gets a point. You can give Kathy a point for that.
That's good.
Yeah. So this goes back to late '80s, early '90s. There's a man named Steve Commissar from Beverly Hills, California. As a young man, he put an ad in a newspaper selling a solar-powered clothes dryer. Got thousands of people to sign up for a $49 solar-powered clothes dryer and sent them a clothesline in an envelope. So he went on to be arrested numerous times for various crimes, frauds. And
Really?
He went to prison in the 90s, came out, and made a name for himself as a fraud expert. Except he wasn't a fraud expert. He posed as a fraud expert. And he made it onto Dateline.
Wow.
He made it onto The View. He made it onto the Today Show. And he wrote a book called America's Guide to Fraud Prevention, which is now in the Museum of the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners as a piece of fraud history.
My goodness.
And it all started with a little bit of clothesline.
See, the first time you pull a fast one on everyone, you're a genius. The second time is when you get arrested.
I think the phrase goes, buy a solar-powered clothes dryer once, shame on you. So that's that.
Wow.
He went to federal prison a little while after that, and he was actually released April of this year.
Oh.
Okay.
If anyone comes to you looking to sell a solar-powered clothes dryer,
Hey.
you know where to turn.
Let me tell you about the new thing called Blitcoin. It's great. We're going to need a small investment.
Bitcoin, you say? All right, got to skip this one because we don't have Wi-Fi. This one was fun. I'll explain what it was. There's a website where you can listen to Wikipedia being edited. It creates this ambient music. Every time an article is created, it strikes a bell. Every time there's an edit, there's like a slight chime, and the deeper the tone of the chime, the bigger the edit is.
Oh my God.
And every time there's like a string swell, that somebody new is joining Wikipedia for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And what you do is, I wish we had Wi-Fi. It was so cool. The website itself is just a big purple window, and you just see bubbles, and the bubbles pop up with the names of the articles that are being created
Oh, okay.
and that are being edited. And so it's a way to see Wikipedia being edited in real time.
It would be nice if you could limit it by like what articles you can listen to, because
I don't- yeah.
because then I could just set it to Naruto and just hear a cacophony of noise all the time.
That's very true. Yeah, I don't think there's a way to filter it, but there is a way. If you see somebody new join,
Yeah.
if you click the button, it'll send them a message that says "Welcome."
Well, that's not creepy at all.
I think, well, just send them. I think that's kind of nice.
You're welcome.
I can hear
Very
you
nice.
editing.
Yeah.
I can talk into the microphone. There we go. How's that? Better?
Eat the mic, Chris.
Better? Hopefully
Put the
better.
mic in your mouth.
Put the microphone in your mouth.
All right. For our next question, we're going to go back. We're going to go back in time.
Oh. Sorry,
the
doing another
90s.
Price is Right game.
We're going to go back to, that's the best picture I could find for the 90s. To me, that is the 90s.
That's great.
The shadow doesn't help showcase how pointy Arsenio's chin truly is.
It really is.
He's the Black Jay Leno.
It was, I think it was like, it was on some Disney show. There was a parody of Arsenio Hall. It was like he was like a dog and he was a talk show host. And he did a woof 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 and he had the big chin like that and everything.
Sure.
I forget what show that was.
It was.
I don't know.
Wasn't he the host on like the Goofy show?
It was something, it had something
Like
to do with Goofy.
Or
But it
Goofy's
was
teenage
Disney.
nephew. or-
Right. Was it Goof
Yeah, it was
Troop?
probably Goof Troop.
I'm just going to hold
Just
this.
hold
That's
the
probably
microphone.
better. There we go.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. All right, we're going back in time. The date is January 20th, 1992. My question is this. Was that a good day?
Dickweed.
I think Rich was first.
Oh, sure. It was a very good day. I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
We're talking.
Ice
Yes, sir.
Cube's
Ice
very
Cube.
good day.
Ice Cube,
wait.
very good. Yeah.
I didn't hit that one.
Was that?
It's
Ice
Ice
Cube's
Cube.
very good
Right.
day.
So,
Yeah.
so we're talking about a
He won't
song
understand.
called "It Was a Good Day" by Ice Cube. Came out in 1993, and because of the context clues in the song, it's been able to be determined that the day Ice Cube is talking about in his song is January 20th, 1992. So the context clues. Went to Short Dog's house. They were watching Yo MTV Raps. Yo MTV Raps aired from August 1998 to August 1995. It was on the air on January 20th, 1992. It was on the schedule for MTV then.
Okay.
Everybody I know,
Please tell me you have the record of the Lakers beating the Supersonics.
the Lakers beat the Supersonics. The final score was, Seattle Supersonics 110, Los Angeles Lakers 116. Played at the Forum in Inglewood,
That's
California,
awesome.
Wow.
about 10 miles southwest of the Lakers' current home, the Staples Center.
That's
That was
awesome.
January 20th, 1992. Got a beep from Kim. Beepers in their most familiar commercial form were introduced in the 60s, but they were well into popular use by the early 90s, which goes towards this theory. No barking from the dogs and no smog. National Weather Service reports no smog reported in the south central Los Angeles area
That
on
is
January
detailed.
20th, 1992. So with all those context clues, January 20th, 1992 was a good day, according
Wow.
to Ice Cube.
All right. That's like.
However, I did lose a tooth that day because I was 5.
Hey, you were 5 years old in 1992? I was 3 years old in 92.
Oh my God. Well, look,
I'm not
mother.
going to ask. I'm not going to ask. No. I would never do that. I would never do that.
Kathy was getting her doctorate.
She could be our grandmother. Not
Yeah,
really.
basically.
No.
I am from Kentucky. so.
There you go.
She could be her own grandma.
He didn't meet it, Kentucky. Okay. Next question. We are going through this at record speed.
Breakneck
We are
speed.
getting to 1 a.m. Next question. How did this case eventually wrap up? I'm going to read it to you. D'Angelo Bailey sued Eminem over allegedly defamatory lyrics in the song Brain Damage from the 1999 album The Slim Shady LP. Lyrics were as follows. I was harassed daily by this fat kid named D'Angelo Bailey, an 8th grader who acted obnoxious because his father boxes, so every day he'd shove me in the lockers. So he was sued for that. How do you think the case turned out? What would be your decision? Anybody? Yes, Corey.
What I would do is nothing. It's music. Go away.
Okay, that's a fair answer.
But that's not. That's. I know this one.
okay,
I know this one.
okay. If you want to explain it, you can. If you want to get a point. Yes, Corey.
I love that noise.
It's awesome.
Anyway, so what had happened was that the judge found the guy in the song, the guy who was being rapped about. He threw out the case.
She.
Huh?
She threw out the case.
She threw out the case, and I don't remember why she threw out the case, but I do remember that she got cute with her statement, and she wrote the whitest rap
She did.
on the planet.
On October 17, 2003, Judge Deborah Servito dismissed the case. This was the first time a decision in a court of law in the United States was delivered via rap. Would you like to hear the rap?
Yes.
I don't need a beat. I'm gonna rock this straight Acapulco. All right. So it goes as follows, if this pleases the court. Mr. Bailey complains that his rep has been trashed, so he's seeking compensation in the form of cash. Bailey thinks he's entitled to some monetary gain because Eminem used his name in vain. The lyrics are stories no one would take as fact. They're an exaggeration of a childish act. It is therefore this court's ultimate position that Eminem is entitled to summary disposition. Bars.
Whoa.
Bars.
My name is the judge, and I'm here to say I'm about to write a rebuttal in a crazy way.
I probably just blew everybody's ears out by beatboxing. What are these urban noises coming through this microphone?
Panda,
So
panda,
Bailey
panda.
v. Eminem ended. It was a rap battle that ended with a rap. So we'll go on to the next question. Tell me, what's the problem with Scunthorpe? Yes, Corey.
What isn't the problem with Scunthorpe?
Who knows these days? Anyone? What's the problem with Scunthorpe? The hint is in the name. And once you find the hint, please don't say it out loud.
Dickweed.
Yes, Bob.
I see a word in there.
If this is countdown, do you have a risky 4?
I have a juicy 4.
Okay, okay.
Bob, please don't write my Tinder profile.
So,
let's
yeah.
nobody say the word because even after 10 o'clock, it's disgusting.
It's
in there.
cringy.
It's after the S. It's a 4-letter word.
Yeah.
Is it Thor?
So that's the problem. It's called the Scunthorpe problem. So the Scunthorpe problem is when a seemingly innocuous name happens to contain a string of letters that form an obscene word. And it's become a problem really in the mid to late 90s because of the internet and because of search filters and spam filters and obscenity filters. So the problem was named after an incident in 1996. AOL's profanity filter prevented residents of the town of Scunthorpe in North Lincolnshire from creating accounts with AOL because the town's name contains that word. It blocked everybody.
Wow.
So years later, Google's Safe Search filter did the same thing. They reversed it pretty quickly, and theirs mainly prevented people from searching for their name. It wasn't a thing of creating accounts, but it's happened in many other cases. In April 1998, Jeff Gold attempted to register the domain name shitakemushrooms.com. Couldn't do it. In 2000, a Canadian television news story on web filtering software found that the website for the Montreal urban community, Communauté Urbaine de Montréal in French, www.cum.qc.ca, there was a problem. There was a problem with that. In February 2004, Craig Cockburn reported that he was unable to use his last name with Hotmail. At the same time, he had problems at work because he was a data specialist, and the web filter found the word Cialis in specialist and wouldn't let him make an email address with that. So
Bro.
Hotmail told him to register by using a 0 instead of an O, but then they reversed it and they saw
At
it was
that
silly.
point, just be a farmer.
Right. In 1996, Super Bowl 30, Super Bowl, Triple X, the searches got blocked for that. In 2007, the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds blocked ornithological terms such as cock, tit, shag, and booby from its discussion forums, all bird-related terms. Yes,
So, all right, I have a scenario.
Okay.
So, there's a place around here called the Metroplex. And when it first opened, they had the following stores. They had Old Navy, a Giant supermarket, and a Dick's Sporting Goods. And when they came up with the sign, the first original sign for the Metroplex, it had Old Navy, Giant, and Dick's. And vandals would always take the Navy out, so it would read Old Giant Dick's.
I will leave the Navy in. Why leave the Navy out of it?
So would that fall under this effect?
I don't know. I feel like that's a real life application of it.
Yeah,
because
that nobody thought of.
This is all really just computers being stupid.
Welcome to Montgomery County.
Right. In October 2004, the Horny Man Museum had a little problem. And then in June, my favorite, in June 2008, a news site run by the American Family Association filtered an AP article on sprinter Tyson Gay, replacing instances of gay with homosexual, thereby rendering his name Tyson Homosexual.
Well,
Which,
Rough, huh?
which could be worse.
Yeah.
It could
so
be.
sad.
It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. But yeah, so
He
so
and
the
his
problem
boyfriend
with
unavailable for
Scunthorpe
comment.
is all in its name. Now, next question. What's the most fun you could have with the Undertaker and a cucumber? Double buzz, Rich.
all of the fun.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. So you can have some fun with the Undertaker and the cucumber in one specific way for one specific reason. Yes, Corey.
If you get those two up against the ropes long enough, you'll have a pickle.
Oh.
I'll see myself out. Thank you.
Good night.
Okay.
Any ideas on this side?
Because it
Anything at all?
ferments.
'Cause okay, all right, so here's the thing. You can have fun with the Undertaker and a cucumber just by showing it to him. You know, the Undertaker is deathly afraid of cucumbers.
What?
And there are stories of other wrestlers slicing cucumbers and putting them under like their wristbands. So when he gets them in a hold, they would just take it out and slide it out from under his wristband. So he would either have to just like suffer through it or like break character and get the fuck away. And there are stories of him like throwing up out of rage and fear because he saw cucumbers in his salad at restaurants and things like that.
Wow.
So,
How
Yeah,
does
and
that happen? I mean,
I don't
how
know.
do you
So-
become traumatized by cucumber?
I
So,
can think
I
of
don't
one
like
very
a slice-
specific way how someone can be traumatized by a cucumber.
I mean, but like a sliced up, I don't know. Like that's.
Well, the theory is because I don't think anyone's ever asked him directly, but the theory is that something happened in which he was forced to eat cucumbers and didn't like them, and it turned into a trauma. I don't know if I've ever told you about my phobia of butterflies. I never had to eat a butterfly, but my earliest memory is seeing a butterfly drink from a garden hose that I was holding, and to this day, it creeps me out. Isn't that weird?
It's nice. It's nice
Yeah,
that the
maybe not
garden
weird,
hose
but-
was.
What's that?
It's nice that the garden hose was found innocent in all this.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No implication of the garden hose. Yeah, but honestly, it's turning into therapy. It's
Yeah.
gotten better.
Good.
Okay.
Is this why SaladWorks no longer sponsors WrestleMania?
That's exactly.
yeah.
I was always wondering about that.
Right.
Their demographics overlap so well.
And a lot of people on message boards and things drew the comparison between the Undertaker and cucumbers and cats and cucumbers, because that was a thing on YouTube for a while,
Yeah.
where people would leave a cucumber in their cat's bowl, and the cat would actually get scared. Have you ever done that, Bob? You have a cat. No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because they say it's not good to scare your pet.
Correct.
Because you know what the reason why it scares them is because their bowl is like a sacred space for them. Like that's where nothing
Right.
dangerous happens. That's where they get food. So for something to be in there all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, I can't trust this space anymore.
Right.
Isn't that heartbreaking?
Oh my God.
So that's why, and also it's the idea that this large object got there. It doesn't have legs. It didn't crawl. Where did it come from? How did it
Right.
get here? So that's why cats are.
Is
afraid of
it
cucumbers.
safe to assume that is also the line of thinking with the Undertaker?
Yeah, probably.
Where did this cucumber come from?
This cucumber does not have no matter if you're the cat or the Undertaker, cucumbers don't have legs.
Yeah, it could be
And
creepy.
you can take that to the bank. The money bank. Yes, sir.
Does your paper say anything about John Cena and zucchini?
It does not.
I
Should it?
this is bullshit.
You
I
know,
made it up. Yes, Rich.
Zucchini can't see John Cena.
No one can see John
Right.
Cena.
That's why.
Okay. All right. Was that a dog? Did I just hear a dog bark out there?
It was.
What?
Who was that? Was that you, Brian?
It was.
I heard a laugh.
Kurt just was
Oh,
laughing.
I laughed
Oh.
like that too. I thought it was a dog. That's okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You laugh like a dog.
There you go.
I have the same laugh. Have you ever heard me laugh?
Yes.
I laugh like a tea kettle.
Just
All
hide
right.
the cucumber.
All right. Next question. Tell me, who would be in charge of the soundtrack for a game about a giant, insufferable dick? Yes, Corey.
Christian W. Carrion.
Oh. No. Can we take a point away for that word? No.
Oh my God! What is on the screen?
It's a thing.
What was the question again?
Who would be in charge of the soundtrack for a game about a giant, insufferable dick?
I feel like Michael Bay would be involved.
No. It's somebody in music who's a giant, insufferable dick. Yes, Corey.
Trying to think of someone who would give the most offense. No one's watching.
No.
Adele.
No. It's-
She seems nice.
Who's the most pompous man in popular music you can?
Dickweed.
Kanye?
Yeah, Kanye West. Kanye West is the right answer. I'm going to tell you, Kanye West, according to an interview recently, the first song he ever made was to accompany a computer game he made. It was a Super Mario clone, and instead of Mario, it was a giant penis. So I'll read you the quote. First beat I did was in 7th grade on my computer. I got into doing beats for the video games I used to try to make. My game was very sexual. The main character was like a giant penis. It was like Mario Brothers, but the Goombas were like vaginas. Mind you, I'm 12 years old, and there's stuff 30-year-olds are programming. You'd have to draw in and program every little step. It literally took me all night to do a step, because the penis, had little feet and eyes. Direct quote.
How old was he?
12? According to him?
I mean, sure.
I mean, him saying he designed a game when he was 12 is like hearing Kim Jong-un invented the hamburger.
Yeah.
It's like one of those claims he has listed on his site.
Yeah. I mean, I was 12 and making video games, and at no point did I draw a penis.
What was the first game you made? Was it when you were 12 or was it before that?
I think it was a little bit after I was 12 that I put together a thing, but I made a game. I think it was actually Drop the Bomb. Yeah.
Drop the Bomb was your first game? I remember playing that in the library, and I remember getting it was so hard.
It was
I remember
not
getting
easy.
so angry at that game.
Yeah, the basic of it was, I wanted to make the Joker's Wild.
Like the big slot machine.
Yeah, big
Right.
slot machine.
Right.
But at random, the windows would explode. So you'd have to continue playing the game with no money and only 2 windows.
And the thing is, I remember in the first version, every time a window exploded, you lost all the money you earned.
did.
And I used to yell so loud in the library. I was like, who the fuck made this game? And now I know.
It's me.
It's
your
you.
best friend.
It's Corey Hanatato. Hey, it's me, your friend.
Hey.
Yeah, so Kanye would make a music about a game about dick. Okay.
He should have put it on
And
Newgrounds.
As quickly as he should have, newgrounds.com. As quickly as we began, we now end with the final question.
Okay.
Oh, no.
We made it to 1 a.m., didn't we? We are back
Just
on
about.
track.
Just about.
Final question. Where would you find the city of Bent Necks? City of Bent Necks. Where would you find it? Corey.
Right across the street from the town of beautiful women walking by.
Fair. Okay.
you.
Okay. Well,
And notice I didn't mention titties or butts.
I see that.
Very nice.
That answer is currently under review. City of Bent Necks. Any ideas? Any ideas at all? We're headed to Europe. So we're headed into Europe. And yes,
Across the street from Scunthorpe.
right. There you go. No, we're talking about a town called Herzogenaurach. Is a city in Bavaria, Germany. And we're talking about this whole thing starts with a pair of brothers, the Dassler brothers. Their names were Adolf and Rudolf. So Adolf began making shoes at his mother's kitchen in the 1930s. And when Hitler came to power, the two brothers joined the Nazi Party, and Adolf helped manufacture the boots that the Nazis made.
Sure.
At some point in the 40s, while the war was going on, there was a huge fallout between the brothers. Nobody found out what happened. The theory is that eventually one of them became disillusioned with the idea of joining the Nazi Party.
I think maybe the genocide didn't help.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly.
I'm willing to bet.
But this
it put a
this-
strain on things.
This falling out ignited this very fierce rivalry. Rudolph.
Would you call it a family feud?
Boo this man. Yeah. So, anyway, yeah. So Rudolph, Adolf's brother, formed a sports shoe company called Puma. And Adolf went across the river, across the Auerenrock River in Germany, and that divided that town, and created. He took his nickname Adi and the first three letters of his last name, DAS, and created Adidas. So they ignited this intense rivalry, and it became very petty. During the 1968 Mexico Olympic Games, Adidas had Puma's shoes held up at customs.
Oh.
And then in 1970, Puma broke an agreement between the two to not hire Pele, the famous soccer player, so they took him for the World Cup. It just became this very nasty thing, and the feud eventually even spread to the company's workforces. So there were bars where, and the workers wouldn't even sit next to each other. So there were the Pumaraner were the Puma workers, and the Adidaslers were the Adidas workers, and they wouldn't even talk to each other. And the town became known as the city of bent necks because whenever anyone would start a conversation with you, they would bend down to see what brand of shoe you were wearing, because it was either Puma or Adidas, and it just became this intense rivalry. And to this day, it goes on, not to the degree that it went. They talk now,
Never heard
but
that
yeah.
before.
So the city of Bent Necks is a little town in Germany.
Wait till New Balance comes in.
Yeah, New Balance.
They ain't ready. So that was the final question of QI for the 7th annual 24-hour game show marathon. All this, what's that? They're just really damn good, I guess. So all that's left to do is check on the scores. And I think we have scores coming up. I think we do. They're being tabulated. While they're being tabulated, please donate to Child's Play. We are so close to $3,000. Please get us there. With your help, we can get there. We can get there by like 8 a.m.
Yeah?
and have the rest of the time to celebrate and play these games for fun, which we're doing for fun anyway. But please get us to 3,000. It's really important. That will double to 6,000 if you can do that. Thank you very much. Donate.gameshowmarathon.com. Do we have scores yet?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's okay. You can bring them up. Our scorekeeper, Dave Mattingly, everybody.
Yay!
Thank you very much.
12-time Jeopardy
Let's
champion
see. Oh,
Dave Mattingly.
Boy.
Place, Kathy Groves.
Oh, boy. How interesting. In last place, with 1 point, it's impressive to have a positive score in QI anyway. Kathy.
See?
Yeah.
In next position, in 4th place with 2 points, is Bob.
Dickweed.
In 3rd place with 2, also with 2, is Corey.
Hey, wait a minute. Does that...
Rich has 3 points.
Yeah!
But the winner of the 7th annual 24-hour game show marathon QI is the Twitter chat with 4.
What?
The Twitch chat with
Twitch
4.
chat.
Whatever chat you are, the
Good job.
chat won this year. So
Good
there
job.
we are. Thank you. Yes, Corey.
If I had known I was competing against the Twitch chat, I probably would have used a lot more titty references.
Probably.
So-
I almost wish I had known that too.
I'm playing this game under protest.
Yep.
That is all for QI this year. Stay tuned. Go 8-Bit with Corey Anatato is coming up next on the 7th annual 24-hour game show marathon. Stay right there.
The 24-hour game show marathon is brought to you by MMCO Auto, with Porsche, Audi and Volkswagen dealerships and one of the largest selections of pre-owned vehicles in the Philadelphia area. Visit them at mmcoauto.com. Turkey Hill, imported from Lancaster County, makers of fine drinks, ice cream, frozen treats and more. Find locations and coupons at turkeyhill.com. Wawa. Wawa is your all-day, everyday stop for fresh, built-to-order foods, beverages, coffee, fuel services, and surcharge-free ATMs. Find your closest Wawa at wawa.com. Gotta have a Wawa. Newgrounds. Newgrounds.com has been the home of independent content creation for almost 2 decades. Find the future of animation, music, and art at Newgrounds.com. Newgrounds. Everything by everyone.